I'm back in my painting clothes again because I'm about to start painting the interior of our travel trailer. This is a job that I've been waiting to do for over 2 years. We just haven't been home enough, and I had honey to do last summer, and we've been doing lots of projects around the house at home here this summer. And finally, my husband is away for a week, and I feel like I can just forget everything else and just get this done. When we first got this travel trailer, I knew I wanted to do a complete interior makeover for it. This Arctic Fox 25R travel trailer replaced our Jayco 31-foot bunkhouse double slide travel trailer when it got stolen. This is a smaller trailer, and because we were starting all over again with travel trailers, we decided, because we were no longer traveling with our son, who was our remaining at-home kid, we could go with something smaller. So we ended up with this trailer. It's 25 feet, it has a slide, but it's only half a slide, which makes a huge difference in the floor space of a trailer if you're looking at trailers with slides. If you go with a half slide, you're not going to get that huge feeling that you get in a trailer that has a full slide. If I had my druthers, I'd rather it was a full slide and not a half slide. It really does make a huge difference. But it's just the two of us plus our animals. We've traveled for 2 winters in the States in this, and it has been quite comfortable. So for now, we are quite happy with this trailer. But I'm not very happy with the interior and the way it looks. The first thing we did is we removed the couch that used to sit right here in front of the door when you came in, that sort of divided the living area from the bedroom area, but it stuck out into the middle of the trailer, and it really made it feel very cramped and did not leave a lot of room to go around the bed to the far side. So that was the first thing we did. After, yeah, we have to go back to that, after we repaired the entire skirting around the trailer that was rotten. Oh, there's a spider hanging off my camera. What are you doing there, buddy? Go on, get. Go outside. Spider interruption. There are no leaks in this trailer. It's never leaked. It's in really good shape inside. But around the outside, around the edge, at the very bottom where it hangs down below the actual level of the trailer, it was all wood, and it was covered with plastic tarp type of material that somehow, I guess, was supposed to keep the water out, but instead kept it in. And the entire bottom, around the bottom of the trailer, was rotten for about that far up before it reached the level of the actual metal base of the trailer. So we had to spend a summer. It was an excruciatingly hot summer, so we didn't have a lot of time during the day to work on it. Early mornings, late in the evening. I have a couple of videos about that I will link down below in the description about how we did that. Now we are at the point of being able to redo the interior. So we removed the couch, and we removed the dinette, and we took the couch, moved it into where the dinette used to be in the slide. That worked really well as far as a seating area and opening up the space in the middle of the trailer for more floor space. When you travel with animals, especially dogs, you do need room for them to lay around, or like with Gracie, we have a little cat tree and dog beds and things like that that need floor space. If you watched my first video about loving or hating this trailer, I called it a butt ugly couch. It was the ugliest couch I had ever seen. And it was really hard to put a cover on it because it didn't have a lot of space between the back cushion and the seat to tuck anything in. I have a video where I covered the couch in the Jayco using a kind of cool way of making your cover stay put, and I'll link that down below as well. Unfortunately, it wasn't going to work with this couch. This couch was going to have to go. Into this slide, what we're going to be putting is what is probably best described as a day bed. It will be a twin-size bed, but it will also be a couch. We're going to get a proper, comfortable mattress to put down, and underneath that day bed will be storage. So we can still keep the storage that is usually underneath RV couches, which, when you don't have a whole lot of storage, is really important. That is a project that my husband and I are working on. I just finished painting the first coat, and I'm waiting to do the second coat on the wood that we're using for that. And now what I am starting to do is getting these cabinets ready to paint. So I'm really excited about getting this started. The part I don't like is all the prep work. I'm a bit lazy when it comes to that way. I want to just jump right into painting and papering and decorating. It's all the prep work you have to do beforehand that I find boring. What I'm getting started with today is doing the prep work. I'm going to be deglossing the cabinets and removing all the hardware and the cupboard doors from the cabinets and getting everything ready so tomorrow I can start painting. I'm using this product called Krud Kutter Gloss Off. That is something I've never used before on cabinets. What it does is it removes the gloss from whatever finishes on the thing that you're going to paint so that you can paint over it without having to sand. I've done this cabinet already and it still has a little bit of a shine to it, so I'm probably going to treat it again. But I'm really kind of excited to see what this does. This is, I think, a Canadian product. I got mine at Canadian Tire here in Canada. I think I actually had to order it. I got it last summer. Now, what it says about this stuff, you just wipe it on in a circular motion, and then afterwards, before it dries, you wipe it off with a damp cloth. And that's it. Pretty simple. A lot simpler than sanding, especially when you've got little crevices like this that you have to get into with a sander. I'm hoping that my resistance to doing prep work is going to be a lot less painful using this stuff because I don't have to do the sanding. I'll give you some feedback on this when I'm finished painting everything, but I just wanted to show you this stuff that I'm trying out on here to see how it works on these. But so far, it looks pretty good. So that's the Krud Kutter, and now I'm just going to wipe it off with a damp cloth. So now we just have to let it dry and we'll see how much gloss is still left behind. So of course, the screws on the insides of the doors, on the hinges, are a different head than the ones everywhere else in the door. So now I have to go find my square-headed bit. This is why I hate doing prep work, is it never goes smoothly. Welcome to my disaster area. So I'm back in the trailer this morning, ready to get started on doing some more of this makeover. Yesterday, it was so hot in here, I decided I was going to turn the air conditioner on today because by the end of yesterday, I was an absolute hot mess, sweaty, sticky, and tired. But I managed to get all of the doors. Oh, I just realized I forgot that one. Anyway, I got all of the doors except that one off yesterday, and I got all of the kitchen cabinets and the areas that I need to paint in the kitchen all stripped with that gloss remover stuff. So it's looking pretty good. I'm going to try painting them without doing any sanding and just hope that it actually really works. But today is a lot cooler. I should be able to get more done in here today just because it's not so hot. And I had to keep on going into the house just to cool down and get a drink. The part that I really dislike doing the most, which is the prep stuff as far as removing all of the hinges and all of the bits and pieces off of the cabinet doors, is done. So, well, except for that one. But most of it's done. So I am going to finish stripping, deglossing the rest of the cabinets. They're all ready to be done. I have a week of time between deglossing, between using the deglosser and actually need to do the painting. There's a week's window, they say on the container anyway. So I have a week to get all of this painting done, or at least get the first coat on. So that's cool. But I should be able to get started doing that a lot sooner than in a week. I am excited to get some paint on, but I have to do this prep work. So I'm going to continue deglossing. So I'll just give you a quick shot of what everything looks like without any doors on it. There's the kitchen cabinets on the top without any doors on them. And over here is the little pantry cupboard. I stripped the door on both sides. That's the door that goes into the bathroom. But the mirror is actually glued to the door, so I didn't take it off. It had little little holders, like little screw-in things that held the mirror and stuff on. But when I took them off, the mirror stayed on. So I will put those back on when I finish painting. I'll just tape it up when I'm painting it. I deglossed around the fridge and the fridge doors because I am going to paint the fridge doors. I would like to put the same kind of self-sticking wallpaper on the doors, but because it has this angle here, like it's indents there and plus this angle here, I think it's going to be too finicky to try to put the wallpaper on there. And then I took off all the doors in the bathroom and the vanity and in there, in the big cabinet and that one down below there. All the doors are off around the bed. I've stored all of the hinges and the screws and handles and everything in bowls and kind of stored them into sections. So this is all the stuff that comes from around the bed. There's the pantry and door. There's all the kitchen cabinet stuff. And there's all the bathroom stuff. So everything is separated. I haven't lost any screws and I should be able to reinstall it all without having to try and find bits and pieces. So the wood that is around the cabinets is not real wood. Well, I think it's wood, but it's probably that, that wood that's all glued together, because I think just from what I can see here, it looks like it's that picture of wood that's stuck on here, but the cabinet doors are all solid wood. I don't know why they don't just use real wood instead of this junk, but it is what it is. But I'm going to paint it all. And you can see the disaster that I'm working in here. All of that stuff in here on the bed and down here is from the car camper, which my husband is away visiting friends and took the car. So I had to unload everything out of the car camper and I dumped it in here just because I could back the car up to the trailer door and unload it quickly. But I'm going to have to do something with all that stuff. Maybe when he gets back, I'll load it back in, or it may go in the basement. But at the moment, the place is an absolute disaster. It's very frustrating working in this kind of mess. I dumped all this stuff out of a drawer because I couldn't get in between the drawers to do the piece of wood there, and it was frustrating me, so I just chucked them all out. Gonna have to pick those up. That out of the way. There. Yeah, so it comes out pretty easily. Just a little bit of brute force. So you can see I am a hot, sweaty mess. But I'm now finished with all the deglossing of all the woodwork stuff in the trailer. And I've just realized it's actually 10 to 7 in the evening. So I probably won't start painting tonight, but tomorrow morning I can get started first thing with painting. And I'm going to start with the bottom cabinets. So the bottom cabinets around the base of the bed and the bottom cabinet in the bathroom are all going to be a dark gray. I'll show you the paint that I'm going to use. It's Scuff Defense Stain Blocking Paint and Primer. And I'm thinking with the dogs banging against the counter and all that kind of stuff, not the counter, but the base of the counter, that probably this will be the best defense against those kind of things. And it's a dark gray. It's called Welded Iron. I'm hoping it's going to be okay. I picked out the color on the sample and I liked it, but I'm also hoping it's going to match the rest of the trailer. So we'll see, starting tomorrow morning.